Okay, so the Eagles are about to receive a major boost for the playoffs, as one of the Birds' most crucial offensive weapons is gearing up for a return very soon. So how much more dangerous does that make this Eagles team? Meanwhile, CJ Gardner Johnson has been putting the NFL on notice, as he just did something that's pretty amazing. Also, hear what Darius Slay said to Quinyon Mitchell about CJ stealing his interception, and why might Eagles fans owe Nick Sirianni a big apology? Well, we're going to talk about that and all the other latest Eagles news starting right now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles. And I want to start this off by saying Happy New Year to all you guys out there, and I hope 2025 winds up being your year. And for the Eagles, with 2024 now in the past, it seems like a great time to reflect on what was in hindsight a wild year for this team, as they had a turnaround for the ages in these past 12 months. I mean, go back to last January and things were not going so great for the Birds, as after having Super Bowl hopes, Philly had just completed what was a historic collapse, losing 6 of their last 7 ball games, with a blowout road playoff loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first round being the nail in the coffin. And after that, they also had to endure losing 2 franchise icons in Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox to retirement in the early months of the year, so it definitely was not an ideal start. But fast forward to the end of the year, and obviously things are looking much better. As Howie Roseman and the Birds retooled in the offseason, they brought in multiple bona fide stars, one of which being Saquon Barkley has the chance to break the NFL record for rushing yards in a season next week, and obviously the Birds also bounced back from the collapse as they're 13-3. They just clinched the NFC East Division title last week, and they have a very real chance at winning the Super Bowl this season. So again, what a turnaround it was, and let's hope that the Birds can pay it all off in the early months of 2025, if you know what I'm saying. But again, looking back at 2024, I think one of the most underrated things from this past year for the Birds has been the transition at center from Jason Kelce to Cam Jurgens, as if you want to talk about a seamless transition, this is it right here. Now, yes, obviously there are elements of leadership and experience and communication, among other things, that I'm sure are missing with Kelce gone, and I'm definitely not trying to downplay how great and important he was when he was here, but I mean, just strictly judging by Cam's performance on the field, he has just done a fantastic job, and there really hasn't been much of a fall off, if any, going from Kelce to Jurgens, so he deserves just so much credit for what he's been able to do this season in his new role, and Nick Sirianni seems to agree.
Yeah, I think he's done a really nice job. It's never easy to replace a legend, and so he's had to step in and fill those shoes, and I think he's done a really nice job. First, you look at having 13 wins, Cam the center of a 13-win football team. You know, he's got to play good for that to happen. You know, you got a 2,000-yard rusher, which is special, right? You know, the center's got to play good for that to happen as well, and so, you know, I think all the writing's on the wall of that, of how good a football he's played and all the good things that he's done based off of what this team has done, and never easy to do what he had to do there, but he's really played good football through these 16 games.
Again, it's honestly just insane how we've pretty much seen no drop-off in production from the center position despite losing a Hall of Famer. But I mean, if you look at Beef Jerky's tape this year, especially in the run game, you'll see some pretty Kelce-esque things happening, so it definitely makes sense, and there is a reason why the Eagles legend handpicked Cam as his replacement, so huge credit to Kelce for picking the perfect replacement, and also shout out to Jurgens for the incredible job that he's done this season, as he already looks like one of the best centers in the NFL. And while we're giving out credit and also looking back at this past year, how about the job that Nick Sirianni has done? Because I mean, this is a guy who lost the faith of pretty much everybody, including his own city, as the majority of Eagles fans wanted him fired at one point or another, and I'll even admit, I have criticized Nick a fair amount and speculated at various points that he could be fired depending on how certain situations played out, but I gotta give it to him, because he proved me wrong, and he's really shut all the doubters up with what he's been doing this season. I mean, let's be fair here, all this guy does is win football games, as he's won 13 games this year, and since he became the head coach of the Eagles back in 2021, the Birds have made the playoffs in all 4 seasons, and they've had an overall record of 47-20, which is good for a win percentage of 70.1, making that the highest mark among active NFL head coaches. So you gotta be fair and give Sirianni credit for that, because that is an extremely hard thing to do. And look, I'm not saying that Nick doesn't have his deficiencies, as there's definitely times when the criticism is fair, but at the end of the day, this guy wins games, and he's also phenomenal as a leader, a motivator, and as a culture builder. And you can clearly see that with this year's team, as they're consistently locked in and working hard each and every day and every week. They also have great chemistry within the locker room, and they always have each other's back. So again, Nick deserves some credit for that, and also just the general success that the team is having this year. And defensive coordinator Vic Fangio seems to agree with that.
Yeah, I think he's done a great job coaching the team and having these guys prepared mentally and emotionally. Done a great job leading the staff. He's got good messages every week, tailored to the team we're playing and tailored to us as a team. I think he's done a fantastic job.
You know that Vic is a guy who is always honest and tells it like it is, so comments like that coming from him certainly hold some weight. And again, just shout out to Nick for the job he's done this year despite all the criticism that he's gotten. And somebody else who has done a fantastic job as of late is Eagles safety CJ Gardner Johnson, as he's been putting the NFL on notice with what he's been doing recently. So don't worry, we're going to get into that and so much more in just a minute, but real quick I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and you don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the rest of this season and also moving into the playoffs, then make sure you guys subscribe and also really importantly turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss any of the Eagles coverage or content I got coming on this channel. I cover the birds pretty much daily here, so if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Eagles news, this is the spot. So again, subscribe and turn on notifications, and also while you're at it, make sure you drop a like because it really does help me out a ton. Let's see if we can get to 600 likes today. And now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. So as I was saying, while it's mainly been other guys getting all the attention, one guy who has been playing lights out recently is CJ Gardner Johnson. I mean, just look at what he did this past week against the Cowboys, as he had a phenomenal performance that earned him the NFC Defensive Player of the Week award, and it's very well deserved because not only did CJ have 2 interceptions, one of which he returned for a touchdown, but he also didn't allow a single reception, and he was the highest graded player across the entire NFL in Week 17 by PFF with a grade of 94.4. So it's just awesome to see Chauncey balling out and once again getting picks consistently like we saw so often from him back in 2022. Although I'm sure Quinyon Mitchell would have probably liked CJ to back off on the second one that he had on Sunday, as he essentially stole what would have been Q's first career interception, but Darius Slay made sure to tell the Rook that with a guy like Chauncey, that might just be bound to happen.
I've been telling my boy Q, look, I played with Chauncey in 2022, 2 years ago. One thing I know about Chauncey, when the ball is in the air, he don't see no teammate, he just see the ball. So if you want the interception, Q, because he could have had his first one again, but Chauncey took it. But hey, can't blame Chauncey, because one day I told him, when Chauncey see ball, he gets ball. And that's why he one of the, very good in the post. He one of the best post safeties in the game right now, because he really can just sideline to sideline and track the ball very good, so he's going to attack that ball. And Q, he's like, yes, this is a gift. And like had his hand out like he was just going to receive, like he catching a baby from the ceiling and no. Gotta attack that thing. Cause I don't know if y'all remember early in the year, Q went and go pick the ball. He jumped up and CD jumped into him too. Boom. And knocked it out of Q's hand. And Q, Q got a little mad, like, come on. And I had to tell Q, look, Q, better go attack that ball, because as long as CD back there, he don't see you. He don't see you.
Man, I absolutely love that, and as much as I do want to see Q get a pick, I know it's going to happen at some point or another, and I'm honestly just grateful that we got a ball hawk like Chauncey, who now has 6 picks in his last 10 games, so drop a like down below for that. And I'm also glad that we got a guy like DeVonta Smith, who is obviously not only a phenomenal player and receiver, but he also knows how to respond to adversity. As of course, Smitty dropped that crucial pass in the Commanders' loss that would have sealed a victory, but he was able to quickly put that in the past and bounce back with an awesome performance this past Sunday, where he caught 6 passes for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys. And it was also awesome to see the support that he got from the people around him after that drop, which ultimately ended up helping him bounce back this past week. Mainly this text message that he received and has now released to social media that said, quote, one moment doesn't define the player you are. You've made the most difficult plays before and you'll make them again. See everything through your spiritual lens. This is just part of the journey of growth. When you pray for something, God just don't hand it to you. He gives you the opportunity to develop it, trial by fire. And while we don't know who this is from exactly, all I gotta say is amen to that. And again, it was just so awesome to see Smitty take those words to heart and respond the way he did on Sunday. And I also do want to take a moment to say congratulations to DeVonta, as he and his now fiance Maya Daniel just announced their engagement just a week after announcing that they are pregnant with their second child. So that's definitely some super exciting news. And what's also super exciting news is that the Eagles are about to receive a major boost to their offense for the playoffs, as tight end Dallas Goedert is nearing a return from his knee injury that he suffered back in Week 13 against the Ravens, and he actually is eligible to come off of IR this week for the season finale against the New York Giants. Now, whether that ends up happening or not, that remains to be seen, and I think it'll honestly just depend on if Nick Sirianni decides to play the starters in this game, which we'll probably find that out very soon, possibly today, maybe after this video is uploaded. But still, whenever Goedert does return, whether that's this week or the first week of the playoffs, that's obviously huge, and it makes the Birds offense even more dangerous, as we know just how good of a player Goedert is and what he provides at that tight end position when he is fully healthy, as not only is he one of the better receiving tight ends that we have in this league, but he's also a really, really good blocker as well. So he provides a boost to both the passing game and the running game. And overall, he's just another weapon that defenses have to account for when facing the Spurs offense, so it'll be great to get him back. And we're surely going to get a ton more information on that as the week goes on, and we're also going to get a ton more news today as the Birds are set to return to practice, so I'm going to be covering all that in my video tomorrow. I do apologize, today's video was uploaded pretty early for my standards, and that's just because I got some stuff going on later, so again, I'm going to be covering all of today's news in my video tomorrow. And if you don't want to miss that, as well as all the other Eagles news I got coming year-round on this channel, then again, make sure you guys subscribe, and also really, really importantly, hit the notification bell so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. And also, again, if you did enjoy this video and want to show some support, make sure you drop a like, because it really does help me out a ton. Again, let's see if we can get to 600 likes today. And also, leave a comment down below just regarding anything that I talked about in this video. And if you want to watch another Eagles video going over some news from earlier in the week, you can check this out right here. And now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.